Check, 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 check. Microphone's working. There's some game audio. And I see my big giant head. Hi everybody, it's Big Ed Mustafa. Welcome to another white-knuckled riveting adventure after dark. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a thrill a minute. Actually, we're probably going to be doing a lot of Summerfest. But I'll try to keep things lively anyway. It's never boring. But it's that magical time of the year where you can actually fish for Antholis starlit crystals. I intend to take full advantage. In fact, I've been playing a lot of Lotro off stream this week. I've got two characters I'm working on crystals for. So I've been alternating between them and trying to get as much festivaling in as I possibly can. What the heck else was I going to do? I was going to host myself on my channel. With all due respect to Tesla de Panda, who I was hosting, I'm going to go ahead and host Lotro stream. Because if you go to the Big Ed Mustafa channel, by golly, you ought to be able to find Big Ed Mustafa at least once in a while. Although I have to say, I am honored to host the plethora of excellent streamers that I do host on my personal channel, including Tesla de Panda, who we'll give a shout out to right now, because she is such a great streamer. I think I just misspelled Tesla. I don't think it's like the car. Yeah, we'll try it. Shout out failed, try again. That's what I thought. I think it's two S's. And speaking of fine streamers, there is SKDX Killer. How are you, man?
Rough day.
Sorry to hear it. I am already live, so
Yep.
if you have any horrible news, just tap it out in Morse code. I'm sure nobody else will be able to decipher it.
My neck's just bothering me.
Oh, sorry to hear it, man.
It's like the spot where my neck meets my skull is like where I've been thinking I've had a lot of my problems the last few months, and I don't know if I did something to it this morning or yesterday, but like I'm definitely not what I was yesterday. I feel wicked sick right now, so I'm like, eh.
You don't have a Korean wife who elbows you in the back of the head whenever you fall asleep, do you?
No, but that probably would give you some problems similar.
I hear that can be an issue for some people, so.
I hear they have a pill for that now.
Well, Mrs. Mustafa tells me that we're happily married and that she would never do that to me, but jury's still out. That's okay.
You can be happily married and still have your wife want to elbow you.
Absolutely. The good news is I do have a cold, crisp, refreshing Coke Zero standing by, and it's Summer Festival, so that's also good news.
Oh, yeah.
I was just shouting out Tesla de Panda. I was hosting her on my channel when I kicked her off to host myself, but thought I'd shout her out anyway. Tesla used to stream a lot of Lotro, and she streams a lot of Rocket League, although it looks like she'd just been playing a game called Hades. Are you familiar with Hades, Nick? The game, not the place?
I think it's a dungeon crawler.
Cool. We like dungeon crawlers.
Indeed.
Did you get any good test results lately?
I hope. Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I was hopeful for today as well.
Good.
Oh.
Somebody needs to send a private message to Puppet Box and let him know I started like 11 minutes early tonight. It's pretty awesome.
Can't tell him.
Well, it looks like I was preparing to fish in Kellendam when I last logged off. I think I was doing some stuff. I don't remember. But I got part of the way through my festival cycle. So rather than continue where I left off, I think we'll pop out to the party tree.
What do you need?
And we'll just start over. Everything's been reset. But that does mean I should have some extra tokens, so when I get done tonight, maybe I can even get a third crystal. Probably not, but it would be exciting. Did you play anything today?
Mm-mm.
Me neither. I was playing Apex Legends with Mishi Bug and Gipio last night, and we called last game, and our very last game, we won a championship. And it wasn't like we quit because we won a championship. We had already called last game when we started, so that was fun. There's Puppet Box. I was just telling Nick somebody needs to private message you and let you know I actually started 11 minutes early. Puppet Box doesn't find me entertaining or talented or humorous or handsome, but he does admire my punctuality. It is popping off at the party tree. We got fireworks. We got heat elements running around. We got quests out the wazoo. We're going to run those quests. And oh yes, there will be fishing.
Could I take a moment of your time? Stay and have some tea. Stay and have some tea. Stay and have some tea.
So I like to start with those 6 quests. I wait to do the ice delivery thing until that's the last thing I need to do. Not because I don't like delivering the ice, but you don't want to be running around doing other quests with that one also flagged and then run into something that's going to slow you down. Alright, I have defeated 3 heats. Let's pick up a crashed kite. We'll go find that ball of twine and get rolling here. Dark Ruler says, greetings from Elkhorn, Nebraska, Big Ed. Greetings, Dark Ruler. Always good to talk to a fellow Nebraskan. I've mentioned it before. There's another streamer, Chris402, who used to live here in Omaha. She streamed Lotro. I have not talked to her in quite a while. Online. I never did meet her in person. But Lotro Stream's own Eldolith used to live right here in Bellevue, Nebraska. And Eldolith and I have actually hung out and eaten chicken wings together. Mrs. Mustafa and I picked her up at her home, and the 3 of us drove over to Council Bluffs, Iowa, and met Lotro Lady Gun and her family for lunch as they were driving through on their way to Minnesota.
Did you hear they delayed the Halo campaign in Forge modes? They're only coming out with multiplayer.
I had not heard that.
Yep, people are pretty upset.
Well, I know everybody's going to be beside themselves when I say this. I just wasn't a huge fan of Halo. I thought it was kind of relatively repetitive and boring.
The first 3 were pretty good, and then after that they were kind of dumb. And then multiplayer was always, it's like, you play the campaign, those were always really good, and then the multiplayer just kind of kept you going, and now it's just like, well, there's no campaign, and the last game's campaign was terrible, so...
Well, that's too bad.
We'll see. I'm not holding my breath.
Well, Linus Sebastian from Linus Tech Tips was pretty excited about it.
Oh, Linus loves everything Microsoft.
Well, you're not wrong.
Microsoft came out with a Halo keychain. I want it.
Yeah, he basically talked himself down off a ledge after almost deciding he wanted to buy a $330,000 TV from Samsung. They've got this.
What's the size?
Gigantic. They have this thing called the Wall,
Yeah, I've seen
It's
the wall.
normally used for giant corporate displays, and he was going to get one put in his new house. So, for those of you who don't watch Linus Tech Tips, Linus Sebastian's channel has over 10 million regular viewers. In fact, he's probably at about 12 million right now. I haven't checked lately. He's easily the largest, most prominent tech tuber on YouTube. They do a lot of computer hardware reviews and occasionally check out notebooks and phones and a lot of technology-related content. Usually informative, almost always entertaining. In fact, they do a show on Fridays called The WAN Show. Weekly Analysis and News, I think, is what WAN is supposed to stand for. And there's little tidbits that pop out. Sometimes it's not even the topics they're talking about, it's what comes out in between the topics. I just did my daily farmer fair stuff. I always think of it as summer festival. I know I got to use farmer fair, but most of the quests that I like doing are the old summer festival quests. They combined the two when they rolled out the new Midsummer's wedding event. And the Farmer's Fair fishing stuff's not nearly as engaging as the summer festival stuff, but it's all good. I did remember to get the basket of eggs, didn't I? Just sure I did. I did. They're not glowy. So I always get excited, Dark Ruler. Summer Festival, like I was saying, or Farmer's Fair Festival, as they call it now. You can actually fish for Amphilis starlit crystals indirectly. I enjoy fishing, and I need Amphilis starlit crystals, so it's a good combination for me. Lots of fishing-related events. And if you get lucky, the fishing can pay off big time, although it is time-consuming. You can actually, if you just do the 4 fishing hole areas to their completion, it's 70 minutes of combined fishing time. And then you can still fish for the things Goldie lost in the pond. You can fish for big fish, puny fish. You can fish for good fish, bad fish. So there's some other fishing related quests that aren't quite as lucrative that were part of the original Farmer's Fair that are also content you can fish for. The first one I'm going to pop is the one you don't actually have to do anything about, which is Matham fishing. Because if you're already kindred with the Shire, you don't need Mathams anymore, so you can just start that quest and right away. Which is what I'm going to do. And then 10 minutes later, you'll get credit for it when the timer expires. Eating a sandwich. Hello, Big Ed. What's on the snack board tonight? I'm going to let Mrs. Mustafa decide. So, there's an unopened box of Cheez-Its out there. Cheez-It brand Cheez-Its, not the knockoffs. And I almost opened them and got myself a bowl of Cheez-Its. And then we have some cheese-colored, if not necessarily cheese-flavored penguin crackers she bought at, I think she got them from Aldi. And I think she thinks they're like goldfish crackers or Cheez-Its. They don't taste nearly cheesy enough for my liking. But, you know, better a bad snack than no snack at all. She tried to make a shrimp stir-fry for dinner. It was edible. It wasn't particularly good or particularly flavorful. The shrimp were small, a bit under-seasoned. She didn't pull the tails off. And her sauce didn't really come together. She tried to make a white sauce using cornstarch, and nothing happened. So it was basically just steamed rice and vegetables with shrimp. But it was fine. I mean, I appreciate her cooking and making dinner. So I'm hoping she comes through with a really good snack because she feels a little bit bad about dinner. We'll see what happens, though. I saw we have hot and spicy chicharrones. We still have some of the ghost pepper potato chips from Trader Joe's out there. Those are super yummy and smoky and peppery. They've got a nice residual burn, but they're not super hot. They're good. She could make nachos. She could pop popcorn. We'll see what kind of mood she's in. Oh, that's too bad, but you learn from it. Well, yeah, that's okay. Her cooking is gradually getting better. She made salmon the other night and didn't cook it to death, which she's been getting better at the last few times she's made salmon. But eventually she'll have to learn that farm-raised salmon bought at the grocery store in Omaha, Nebraska isn't good salmon. And it ain't cheap, even if it's farm-raised and in a supermarket. So I think if you want good salmon, you really have to step up and buy it from a proper seafood supplier. The problem with living in Nebraska is... Hardhit checking in. Hi, Hardhit. How are you doing? Dark Ruler can attest as we can get really good high-quality steaks for cheap. So good seafood is super expensive, and you have to ask yourself, do I really want to pay $27 for the seafood plate? Or do I want to get a $15 steak that's just fantastic? So it's a bit of a trade-off. Let's see what we've got to turn in. I think I got a lot of stuff complete. I haven't been paying that much attention because I've been yakking here.
A lovely day, isn't it?
Yakety yak.
Hello there.
Crashed Kites and Kites Flown are done.
Hello there.
Meliot's list has been found. Foxglove Tunley's list, all good.
Day.
So I was having a discussion with Rem last Saturday. He didn't want to do festival stuff. He says, I just want to level my character. You can get a lot of XP very quickly from running these festivals. In fact, I know a lot of players have alternate characters that they just level up by doing festival stuff.
Good day.
And farming festival rewards for their main characters.
A lovely day, isn't it?
Alright, we could do ice delivery. I think I'm going to wait on that because that Matham event is still timing out. That looks like it's got about 5 minutes to go yet. Let's go see if we can pick a winner in the keg race. Hardhit's doing good, thank you. Hope you are as well. I am doing terrific. Nick has a headache and isn't feeling good, but hopefully he'll bounce back. He's young and he's not married, so he still has a reason to live.
Exactly.
Once you get married, you just basically sit around and pray for a comet to hit the Earth.
Will you stay a moment?
Who should we bet on again? Let's try Signar again.
Come and stay a moment, friend.
Try not to suck this time, Signar.
Is a moment of your time too much to ask?
We've got a little scavenger hunt I can run here while I'm waiting for them to run the keg race. Normally I like to spam emotes on whoever I pick to win the race. Like my encouragement will somehow help them run faster. It clearly has no effect, but it gives me something to do while I'm waiting for the race results. That lucky gem is just hard to even get the mouse on. There we go. Lucky jewel.
It is an insult.
So we'll give Signar some encouragement here. Little flirting. We'll blow him a kiss. Cheer. Wave. Salute. Drink. Flex. Flex. There we go. Charge. Roar. I'll beg him to run faster. Please, please run faster, Signar. He'll probably still come in last. But I can at least get a token or two out of the consolation box if I'm lucky. So somebody else is trying to cheer Lara along. Good luck with that. Holy cow, that might be Signar out in front. Nope, Colmar wins. Thanks for nothing, Colmar, you stiff. And the problem is you all have to wait to loot the consolation present box. Man, somebody keeps jamming me out. Everybody's getting their consolation prize but me. Come on, what the hell's going on? Bug out much? Seriously? Oof. That is aggravating. We'll take a lap to cool down. Lord Smooch is checking in. Hey, Big Ed. Hard Hit says, sometimes that box glitches. You don't say. And the Great Math and Fishing swap is done. Alright, never mind. I don't know what to do about that box being bugged out. Do I need to enter and come back in, Hard Hit? I can just hurry up and try to lose Taste of Hobbiton really quick.
Stay and have some tea.
We'll bet on Daffodilly.
Hello there. Might I speak with you a moment?
Come on, Daffodilly. Alrighty. Hearted says, I just leave. Yeah. It's highly disappointing. We got some good work done on Wednesday night. Gore was traveling, but our Adventures on Evernight group got a chance to run some epic battle content. I remember Bacchus joined us, Hard Hit and Freelancer were there. And Hard Hit pulled in a couple of other pals from other kins, and we did Hammer the Underworld, and I think we did the 3-man Glittering Caves, and we got a bunch of promotion points, and it was a good time. Just 1 coin. It can actually be 2 or 3 tokens now. 6-man Peller gear too, yeah. Got some good jewelry. Got some Stars of Merit. And I've been alternating Lenorian and Mandalinia on who I've been running through Summer Festival content. So hopefully when we actually get to 100th level on Evernight, I'll have a few handful of Starlit Crystals to get me jump started. I think she's got 3 or 4 of them in her bag right now. And Lenorian got to Kindred with Minas Tirith, so she actually unlocked all of the Cistern dailies, so I can grind extra scrolls now. That's my excited and happy look. So I love the Cisterns of Minas Tirith. Alright, let's get going here. Come on, Daffodilly. There are some unique titles you can earn by completing certain things in the summer quest. If you go to the 4 fishing holes and catch 10 each of the 4 rare fish, you need 10 starry flounder, 10 golden redfish, 10 silver haddock, and 10 kelebhal in its lifetime. You don't have to catch them all in one day. You don't even have to catch them all in 1 year. But if you catch all of 10 of each of those 4 species, you get the rare fish title. There's also there's some other titles. I know there's a deed for winning the keg race and Taste of Hobbiton with each of the 4 contestants in each contest. So if you manage to pick each of them as they win, I think it's Lucky Duck or Lucky something. That takes a little bit of work sometimes. I have done it on a couple of characters, but I don't think I have to worry about popping that on Lenorian yet tonight. Probably not going to happen. And for titles, she is, of course, sporting Lady of Streams. She is a world-renowned fisher lady who still needs her last sturgeon for Sturgeon Master. But that's a fish to fry another day. Then another one for picking each racer 3 times. Oh, there is another one for picking each racer 3 times. That I did not know. I don't think I've done that on any character. Galadriel got that knocked out pretty well. Daffodilly has lost the race. There's a shock. I got 2 farmers tokens. We'll go back to keg race and see if that unbugged. Hopefully with me having left and come back, maybe it'll unscrew itself now. Or not. Requirement not met. Okay, thanks for nothing, game. I didn't want those tokens anyway. And the barf emote. Nice. We ride for the party tree and for Lucky Duck, Big Ed. There you go. It is Lucky Duck.
Hello there. How do you do?
Nice. I'll go ahead and buy my Hobbit fireworks while I'm here. Let's check that pack space. Pack space is a little tight. Do I want to do the fireworks stuff? I already have. Was a good thing I looked. I've already got my dwarf fireworks, and that can go in a vault. So yeah, let's go ahead and buy the Hobbit fireworks.
How do you do?
We'll do the ice cream run. I might go ahead and fish at the Hobbiton or the Bywater fishing pond while I'm thinking about it.
Could I take a moment of your time?
Hard hit. We'll be right back, Nick. I
What'd you say?
don't want you to feel abandoned, but hard hit will be right back.
Okay.
Also, I guess I should mention that we're supposed to be expecting a band of severe thunderstorms tonight. So technically my stream could get knocked out at any time. But I don't hear any thunder or see any lightning outside now. So we'll see how long we can keep this sideshow going here. You're delivering ice, Ed. Don't go to the fishing hole yet. Stay on task. I just get magnetically drawn to fishing spots. Can't help it.
Good day. Hello there. Might I speak with you a moment?
Nick, did I tell you about my horrible, horrible night in Fallout 76?
Mm-hmm.
So I was telling
Your spear. You and your spear.
yeah, fighting an assaultron with a spear. Yeah, I was telling Nick and Gipio about it, and I hopped on Fallout 76 fairly late, I think Wednesday. We got done with Lotro, and everybody kind of wandered off, and I was a little tuckered out. I didn't feel like streaming super late, but I went ahead and kept playing, and it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm doing this quest line for the Overseer where I'm trying to get the raiders at the crater to help us break into Vault 79. Apparently it's the U.S. Gold Reserve in there, and the Overseer has a plan to launch a new economy based on gold rather than pop bottle caps. So in order to gain rep with the crater raiders, I go to the steel mill at Grafton, and I have to rescue this little girl called Ra who's stuck inside there. And it turns out to be a lot of the new storyline quests are like this too, where they're very lengthy and very difficult. And the whole place is full of killer robots, and I'm fighting my way through, and I'm fighting my way through, and I'm fighting my way through. And one by one, I'm just wearing out and breaking my rifles. I have a set of rifles that fire different calibers of ammunition so that I can...
Hey, might I have a word with you?
not just run out of a particular size of ammunition. So I've got a 38 caliber combat rifle, a 45 caliber combat rifle, 50 caliber hunting rifle, 50 caliber or a 308 caliber hunting rifle, and I mix it up and go through the different guns. And I have a legendary spear called Oathbreaker. That's a Brotherhood of Steel reward that I carry for a melee weapon. And I'm going through this dungeon, and it's getting late, and I'm trying to get to the back of it. And one by one, my guns are breaking, and I'm burning through a bunch of ammo. And I'm like, okay, hopefully I'm almost to the end of this thing. And then all of a sudden a door opens, and I've already fought one Assaultron robot. And Assaultrons are just, they're deadly up close if they get within melee range. They can stealth, so they're hard to shoot. You can't use VATS on them. You have to target them manually. There's a little ghost outline, so you can kind of tell where they are. But you have to find them and track them and shoot them. And if they get within melee range, you're going to have a bad time. And while I'm fighting this thing, right after it pops out, my last rifle breaks. And all of a sudden, I'm basically out of guns. I'm just like, ugh. Well, maybe I can fight this thing with my spear. Just sliced right through me like I wasn't wearing power armor. It was a big drag. So I end up getting killed. I've got a pile of broken guns and nothing to fight with but the spear. And when you die in Fallout 76, the death penalty, so to speak... What am I missing? Oh, is lucky bait. Okay, that's me chatting and not paying attention again. Is that all of your scrap drops, the junk that you're carrying. Well, junk is the most valuable commodity in the game because you need junk items to repair your rifles, repair your armor, upgrade your weapons, fix just about anything you'd ever need to repair. So you rely on your scrap to get things done. And I went back 2 or 3 times and just tried to recover my junk before I abandoned the quest.
Mm-hmm.
It was 3:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I give up. I had to basically just go back to my base, leave my scrap behind, and not have any way to fix my guns. So last night I got back on Fallout 76. I ended up buying a couple of bags of bulk aluminum, but I got all my guns repaired and things are sorted out.
Hello there.
It was a very frustrating evening, though. So I'm a little less hostile towards Fallout 76 than I was the other day. But just a little. Let's do some of the minor quests. See if I can get Goldie Tunley's stuff out of the pond. She lost a bunch of junk. Needs me to fish it up for her. Oh, my inventory's too full to hold my catch. We'll get rid of some weeds and goldfish.
Alright, I'm out of here.
Alright, man. Have a good night. Hope you feel better tomorrow.
Peace.
Take care. Ponton Finberry checking in. Hello, Ponton. Got the lost spectacles. So when I go back to redo that quest in Fallout, I have to start at the beginning again. So, and the dumb part is I have a lever action 45 caliber rifle that does plus 50% damage against robots, and I had no idea I was going on a robot quest and didn't have it with me. In retrospect, the smart thing to do would have been to go back for that rifle. By the time I realized I needed it, I was just done. It was too late. I needed to call it a night. I was definitely dragging during work yesterday. Up too late. Got Goldie's Lost Teacup. I'm doing good, Ponton. How are you doing? How did your week go? Are you glad for the weekend? Do you have anything big planned? Got Goldie's Lost Chair. Doing pretty good at just knocking this right out. Would rather make short work of it than have it drag on. Dang it. Yeah, Nick actually jumped some Apex with us last night, which is very much appreciated. Normally when he plays lately, it's just with his brother. They've been grinding ranked. Pretty good here. Went to see New House the other day. We be buying. Awesome. It is ready to turn in. Here you go, Goldie.
Wait, the goal of some folk?
Oh, I know. So Bolo is the... Oh no, Bolo is not the fishing hole guy. The
Could I take a
quartermaster's
moment
the
of your
fishing
time?
hole guy. Big fish, little fish. That's pretty exciting. New digs are always a good thing. I keep trying to get Mrs. Mustafa to move, but she just does not want to move out of this place. I don't even think that she likes this place that much. It's just a matter of not wanting to pack up all of our junk. For a while, she was pretty good about bagging up a lot of that stuff she's been bringing home from Goodwill and redonating it, but that's kind of trailed off. So we still have piles of stuff around here I'd like to get rid of. It's a mess, but part of the project to fix it up before ever moving in. Oh, there you go. So you got a fixer-upper you can put some sweat equity into. I admire the chutzpah. If I tried to upgrade a property, it would probably end up getting condemned before I was through. Why is this all jacked up? I tried to fix it. Yeah, you should have hired somebody. You're an idiot. That would be the conversation I would be having. You know, it's weird. There's some stuff that I don't even think twice about. Sitting down with a couple $1,000s worth of computer equipment, slapping together a gaming system, wouldn't even cross my mind to be nervous about it. But you go to work on a car, you go to work on a household appliance, you go to work on other stuff, it's like just nerve-wracking. Like, oh my gosh, what if I screw this up? I don't know what I'm doing. What if I do it right? And I just get all, you know, some things you know and some things you don't know. And I always kind of laugh about it. Not that I don't respect people who work hard for a living, but given my talent and knowledge, it isn't lost on me that I end up paying for, you know, car repairs or, you know, like heating and air conditioning guys. They get paid well considering it ain't rocket science. And it's like, you know, if you just took the time to learn yourself. but part of it, like whatever I need to pay for an oil change, if it doesn't involve me crawling underneath my car with a filter wrench, it's probably worth paying to not have to do that. My sister buys houses and hires people to fix it up. It's part of what she does. Okay. Professional property flipper. This time it will be a family house I'll own. Cool. Well, with the real estate market the way it is, it's probably a no-brainer way to make money. Hopefully your sister does pretty well for herself with that. I learned my lesson to not flip cars. I bought an old Toyota Corolla, really nice shape, but the people who owned it had blown the engine out. And I think I bought it for $500. And it was a good looking car, but I went to have a used engine put in it from a salvage yard. And the guy sold me a crap engine. And the engine got installed, and the mechanic who was doing the work, above reproach, good guy, I trusted him. But he gets this engine in from the salvage yard, and it's crap. So we have to call the salvage yard, tell them they sold us a crap engine. And they didn't give us any grief about it. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Bring it back, and I'll exchange it for another one. But I had to pay double the labor cost to get the engine done right. And by that time, it had eaten most of the profit out of the deal. I think I did sell the car and make a couple of bucks, but not nearly as much as I thought. Yeah, and then I've told this story on stream before, too, even with computer parts. The last... well, I'll say the initial Ethereum rush that happened back in like 2018. I actually found a place locally that still had some GTX 1070 cards on the shelf. And I bought one for $450 and sold it on eBay for $600. Wow, I've turned around and make a quick $150, right? Yeah, no, by the time I got done with the eBay commission, the PayPal commission, the shipping and insurance costs. I forget what else dinged me too. I made $13 on that deal for my $450 investment. I had a couple of nice used video cards that I sold right before the current mining boom. I sold a GTX 1060 3 gig and an 8 gig RX 580 card for $100 each. And I was just thrilled to be getting rid of them because I thought, man, when those new 3000 series cards come out, nobody's even going to want these old video cards. And had I held on to them a little longer, I could have sold them for literally 5 or 6 times that price. I was happy to get my $200 at the time. But whoever bought them got really nice cards, and they were worth a whole bunch of money a few months after I sold them. So, even if you know what you're doing, you can still get burnt. Market conditions are beyond your control. Ponton says, I always like seeing old classic cars. I saw one with wooden wheels once. That would be going back a ways. Hard Hit's back. I cannot fish. Oh, I've been done with big fish, little fish. This is what happens to me when I'm streaming. I just zone out. I'm sitting here yakking away. Didn't even occur to me I was done with that event. I'm an idiot. If you're tuning in to learn how to play Lotro, you have tuned into the wrong stream.
A lovely day, isn't it?
Like I am fond of saying, there are a lot of really good, knowledgeable Lotro streamers here on Lotro Stream, and then there's me. But I'm excited to be here.
Could I take a moment of your time?
Easy fish, bad fish. See, now I can just keep fishing and yakking away. It's perfect. Dad had a 1925 Model T touring with wooden spokes. My first two cars that I owned were Triumph Spitfires, and my Spitfires didn't have them, but some of the older Triumph and MG models, I think the Jaguars, they would have actual wire wheels. Think of a bicycle spoke wheel, but with a lot more spokes. And they would just have these knockoff spinners so that they were really easy to replace the wheels, instead of having like lugs. But yeah, old British cars with actual wire rims, those were cool. We're catching easy fish. This is what's known as the mathematically impossible event. I don't know, somebody calculated out the odds of actually finishing this fishy, very fishy thing, and it's astronomically hard to do, and I think the only reward is a title. In fact, I wonder why I'm doing this at all. It's probably a waste of time. I don't know, it's something to do. Yeah, collectibles is another thing that's just not always a sound investment. Like a long time people were collecting Model Ts, and it was people who grew up and remembered the Model Ts from when they were kids or when they were young. And then after that generation got past a certain point, i.e. died off for the most part, all of a sudden the value of Model Ts plummeted because the people who came after them didn't care. Like, oh, it's an old Model T, who cares? But that's why one of the hot collectible markets right now, at least it was a few years ago, 60s muscle cars from the 60s and early 70s, the big block V8s, the supercars, your Chevelles and your Rally Sport Camaros and your Mustang GTs, and all of that became collectible because guys who remember those cars from when they were kids and remember looking at them, when you're 12 years old, you look at Corvettes and you look at collectible sports cars and you're like, oh, that's so cool. Well, you turn around 40 years later, you've got a job, the kids are out of the house, you've been saving up your whole life, you got a few extra bucks put away, all of a sudden you can own that 69 Rally Sport convertible that you dreamt about, or that Barracuda, and so the auction prices on those kinds of vintage cars went up because the people from that era became more and more affluent as time went on. And as that generation dies off, those cars will again drop in value. Hard to say what's going to be popular in the future. But in my own experience, I like playing racing games like Gran Turismo, and they had a collection of old cars. You could even race a Model T. Yeah, Gran Turismo is a classic. That was one of my favorite titles on the original PlayStation. I never owned a PS2 or PS3. I haven't played any of the Gran Turismo sequels. I know they did a Gran Turismo version for the PlayStation Portable, but I never bought that either. But yeah, that was kind of the racing game that kicked off a lot of modern racing games. It had some cool features. But in my own experience, I collected comic books in grade school and junior high, and I'd always intended to hang on to them and save them for posterity. Mylar bags, acid-free cardboard backing, stacked in, some number ones and some rare issues. I had X-Men 137, the one where Jean Grey commits suicide, and it didn't have a Comics Code Authority stamp of approval because the character committed suicide. I had a bunch of number ones, Micronauts and Rom the Space Knight and Moon Knight, and different series that came out when I was a kid. And a funny thing happened. I got to college and I needed money for something, probably to fix one of those stupid Triumph Spitfires I owned. and I sold my comic book collection. And I got several $100s for it at the time. And I remember thinking, oh man, I am really going to regret this. But I needed the cash. I got the cash to fix my car or whatever I was doing at the time. And a couple years later, maybe 3 or 4 years later, I was working and I was done with school. And I, just to torture myself, I'm like, I need to look at the Beckett's comic book guide. I wonder how much all of that stuff is worth now. And I went back and looked, and all of those comics I had sold had plummeted in value because everybody my age went out into the world, decided they needed to sell their comic book collections to pay for life, do some adulting. And the kids who were collecting comic books after us didn't care about the crap that we were reading as kids. They were into this new stuff, the Dark Horse comics and stuff like Spawn and things like that were hot. And that was stuff I didn't have any interest in. It was too new. Like when people get really excited about Harry Potter, after my time, have never cared about Harry Potter. Went and saw the movies when they came out just because I like going to movies. Never read the books, didn't care. I remember my older nephew was reading Harry Potter and was into them. It was something for kids. It wasn't anything I was into. So if it's before your time or if it's after your time, you're not going to be into it. And collectibles get affected by those kinds of tectonic shifts in the market. As people who are collecting something get older, or as a younger generation comes up, the value of that stuff can shift significantly. So you have to be careful with collectibles. I only played Gran Turismo 4 on the PS2. Oh, there you go. I still have my original PlayStation and my original copy of Gran Turismo 1. Well, we're doing pretty good. We're working our way through simple fish. Only got 4 so far, though. Got a ways to go. I forget what comes after simple, but I caught 1 last time I did this, and then boom, got the bad fish. So the bad fish can pop at any time. In fact, I had 1 cast a few days ago where the very first cast I made on this event, I caught the bad fish. It was the very first thing I caught. Bad fish, you're done. I was like, wow, really? That quick? Calingwath checking in. Hello, Calingwath. There's the bad fish. It's as if I called down the thunder on myself. Boo for the bad fish. And I think when that happens, for some reason I had it in my head I could turn those fish in and still get tokens. You don't get anything when you fail that. It was just a waste of time. Another thing that's a waste of time, this Petunia hornblower, I'm going to start ignoring her. That's just too much squeeze for the juice. Not worth doing. I think I can fish. Let's go ahead and do the fishing hole here as long as I'm here. Meanwhile, that ice cream is melting. Somebody came and took my spot. I'll fish out this direction, I guess. So now I'm on the main fishing event. What I need to be doing is catching starry flounders. Now you can catch the regular fish. If you catch 4 lulem, 4 amberjack, or 4 drum, they're worth 3 tokens for every 4th fish that you catch. You can turn them in. But the rare fish, the golden redfish, the starry flounder, the silver haddock, the ooh, I got a drum. The kelebhal. If you catch 2 of those fish, that's like completing 3 extra events. If you catch 4 of them, it's like or 6 extra events. And I've had fishing runs where I've caught 4 or 5 rares out of the same pond at once. And that's where if you get lucky, if you get on a hot streak at one of the fishing ponds and you can collect 3 or 4 of the rare fish, you really build up extra festival tokens quickly. But typically what happens is 2 of the ponds will be mediocre, 1 of the ponds will be just red hot and you'll do really well, and 1 of the ponds will be like stinkaroo. But so far, I don't know if they changed the random number generator and lowered the percentages. I have not had a really good run at any of the ponds so far. I think the best I've done is 2 of the rare fish in any given fishing session, which, I mean, for 20 minutes of fishing, it would be nice if the rewards had been better. So I don't know if I'm just on a cold streak or if they changed the percentages. No way to know. So far I've got a drum and 3 weeds. This is normally the best of the fishing holes. Almost everything you catch here is going to be rewardable. That's why this is only a 10-minute fishing timer instead of a 20. But so far this has not been good. More weeds, 4 weeds in a row. I think the first racing game I ever had was Top Gear on the Super Nintendo. Hi, Pookie. Eating a sandwich Mrs. Mustafa has chosen, and she brought me the penguin crackers from Aldi. So I could do worse. With no luck, you always just get the bad fish. Yeah. I'm sure Telerian knows the exact numbers on that quest. I'm not sure I want to know the odds. I'm like the Han Solo of Lotro fishing. Never tell me the odds, kid. Mrs. Mustafa is taste testing my Coke Zero to make sure it meets her rigid specifications. She says she doesn't like Coke Zero, but drinking my Coke Zero is easier than going and getting her own beverage and opening it, so. Good to see all of this awesome fishing action. There's a Lulum. Yeah, if I had to pick between completing that quest or winning the Powerball jackpot, Ponton, I think I'd rather win the Powerball jackpot. So if I go the rest of my life without completing that quest, I'm okay with that. Lightning's gonna strike, I'd rather it not be for that. On the other hand, I do more festival fishing than I do purchasing lotto tickets. So I probably have a better chance at completing that quest. I've heard it said that lotteries are just attacks on people who are bad at math. No starry flounder yet. Things have picked up. I'm at least starting to reel in some fish, but no big hitters yet. If you like to snack and drink Coke Zero while you play Lotro, fishing in-game is about the ideal activity. Sounds like somebody missed a fish. Come on, at least give me one starry flounder if you're not going to give me two. We got time for one or two more casts here. See how this goes. If they take as long to bite as that one did, I only have time for one. I might be able to get two in if they hit quickly. Nope, I'm not going to get a second cast in. This is it. Nope. That is okay. Okay, we'll go return the ice cream. And then I'll probably head to Thorin's Hall next. Complex has pistachios tonight. I ate some pistachios this afternoon after lunch while I was working. So it is cheesy penguin-shaped crackers from Aldi. They're a knockoff of the Pepperidge Farm Goldfish. At least I haven't checked the box. I don't think they're made with real penguin. Anything is possible.
A lovely day is.
And thanks for my consolation prize. Stupid keg race. Stupid bugged consolation prize box. think I do want to go in the main door. I was going to go in the side door so I could go right into the inn. But
Well met.
alrighty then. And I've mentioned it before, but one of the things that's new, at least new to me, is you can actually ride your horse all the way down to the tavern finally. They used to de-horse you when you got down to the dirt level, but it's fixed. Normally you would lose your horse right there. And I don't know when they fixed that. Maybe they fixed it last year and I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
Welcome. You have come at a most fortuitous time.
I feel fortuitous, but thank you. You are welcome. This will give me a chance to go through all of my different mounts. Val checking in. Hello, Val. I'm doing good. My weekend doesn't start until tomorrow evening, but it's been a pretty good week at work. And Mrs. Mustafa hasn't killed me in my sleep. And life is good. Thought for something had spooked the goat. Why is the goat freezing still? Does he sense a predator nearby? It was just server lag. Val, you got any exciting plans for the weekend? That's kind of a twofer. I get an embarrassed Val by shouting her out, and I get a upset hard hit because I got to shout her out and he couldn't. It's a good thing. Nah, just trying to fix my sleep schedule. Good luck with that.
At your service and your families.
You are welcome.
Greetings, traveler. Will you stay?
All right, this fishing hole is 20 minutes on the timer. So everybody make sure you've got a snack. Grab a pillow. Here we go. Yep, that was not what I was trying to do. It's funny how that bywater fishing hole was just jam-packed with people and nobody's here fishing. We're going to be catching amberjack, but we're looking for the rare and elusive silver haddock. And hopefully this fishing hole will be more lucrative than the bywater fishing hole, where we got skunked on starry flounder, despite our best efforts. Mrs. Mustafa should have noted that the Coke Zero level in here was dangerously low. She did take a sip of the 3/4 empty bottle. I don't know if she's going to come by and grace me with a fresh soda or not. All I know is I can't go get one myself for the next 20 minutes, so I have to make that last. You know what we haven't had in a long time is pizza rolls. I might have to just go buy a giant bag and stick them in the freezer. Like, oh, pizza rolls, where did these come from, honey? Thank you. You know how much I like these. I like to do stuff like that just to mess with her head, and she'll be like, uh-huh. Pizza rolls might be my favorite gaming snack. If you're playing video games and eating pizza rolls, man, life's pretty good. So, here's a question for chat while you guys are sitting there trying to stay awake watching me sleep. What is your favorite gaming snack? I'm going to suggest pizza rolls. Just had pizza for dinner. Well, there you go. Hard Hit says pizza rolls for the win. Cheez-Its are good. Peanut butter stuffed pretzels are good. Anything that helps you drink Coke Zero faster is good. Crunchy salty is good. Peanuts or almonds covered with chocolate. Belfascal, you're not wrong. Any kind of nuts I will snack on. Leftover crab rangoon from the Chinese restaurant. Excellent pick, Val. Crab rolls, or crab rangoon, are like the pizza roll of the Orient. As far as I know. Mrs. Mustafa and I are also pretty big fans of, well, the Chinese call them pot stickers. The Koreans call them yakimandu. The Japanese call them gyoza. They can be steamed, they can be fried, they can be partially fried and then steamed. Chocolate chip cookies, never a bad choice. I like cookies way too much. Cookies, ice cream, and pie. Cake, not as much. Brownies are okay. Brownies are pretty close to cookies. They're a little too cakey. Steamed Peking ravioli dumplings are also good. Exactly. And then you've got shrimp and pork shumai, which are also a type of dumpling. And then if you can actually find soup dumplings, those are super yummy. They actually take soup and freeze it, and then they scoop it into the wrapper. And then when you steam them, the soup melts inside of the dumpling. It's fantastic. I should try that with Dinty Moore beef stew. Nobody's saying Doritos are a good gaming snack. Guess you guys don't like your keyboard turning orange. Gonna lurk. I think I need a nap. There's a silver haddock. Oh, and with a fair amount of time left on the clock, I might be able to pull 2 or 3. They did that in Thailand with dim sum. You bite into it and there's soup inside. Yeah, it's good stuff. Only Cool Ranch Doritos. I knew what you meant, Calangwath. Well, if Mrs. Mustafa doesn't come through for me, I'm going to be mighty thirsty by the time I'm done fishing here. Fishing's pretty good though. I already got one silver haddock. The amberjack are biting pretty regular. This is definitely going better than Bywater did. I'm going to throw microwave burritos out there as being a pretty good gaming snack too. Val's going to lurk while she grabs some food. You guys made me hungry. It's always the dangers of hanging out in a Lotro stream. We always talk about food. I never use a microwave, don't even own one anyway. Microwaves aren't completely useless, but they're mostly useless. But if you try to reheat frozen burritos in the oven, that's like a 45-minute project, so I do have to give the nod to microwaves for reheating burritos. Of course, burritos are already cooked. They're frozen fully cooked, so all you have to do is heat and serve. They're kind of designed for that. But the biggest problem Mrs. Mustafa makes, and I think a lot of people do this with the microwave, is they think 10 is the only heat setting. It doesn't occur to them to like cook something on 6 and just cook it for a little longer, which is how you'd use a conventional oven. It's not like you just automatically crank your oven to 550 whenever you go to stick something in your oven. For some reason, people always want to use the microwave on high. And a lot of times, particularly with carbs, anything like bread or pizza crust or pretzels, if you cook on too high of heat in the microwave, it does something that absolutely just ruins the texture of whatever you're heating up. And it can make anything wheat-based really, really hard and unpleasant to chew through. Whereas if you cook something a little slower on 4 or 5, you might still get a little bit of that toughening, but nothing like what you're going to get if you cook it on 10. It's like take the extra 60 to 90 seconds and don't ruin your food. And there's some things like meat you should never reheat in the microwave. I know I can't eat cereal when I'm streaming because the sound of the spoon clanking against the bottom of the bowl always drives everybody nuts. They're like, what is that noise? Ed's eating cereal. Oh. Which is too bad because cold cereal and milk at night is always a good treat. I like it in the evening a lot more than I generally eat it in the morning. I'm not much of a breakfast guy. If I do eat breakfast, I usually like something that's not sweet. A savory bagel and cream cheese, perfect. I learned how microwaves work and what it does to food, but it is good for heating certain things like coffee. Yep, there you go. Rice milk Craigasm. Now I'm on kind of a cold spot again. Weeds, goldfish weeds. I haven't caught anything good in a few minutes here. There's an amberjack. Give me another silver haddock. I'd like to leave here with at least 2, maybe 3. Come on, silver haddock. Give me a silver haddock right now. Silver haddock. So 4 amberjack here are worth 3 tokens. A single silver haddock is worth 6. So a rare fish is like catching 8 of the regular fish. Like I said, you get 3, 4, 5 of those rares in a 20-minute session. Man, the tokens add up really fast. I was hoping this was going to be a little bit better fishing spot than it's turned out. Kind of cooled off here the second half. But if I can catch another amberjack or 2, that would go a long way towards changing my opinion. Man, how good is horchata? If you like rice milk, wow. That is great stuff. It's like the Mexican version of Thai iced tea. Without the tea. Okay, those little penguin crackers are dry and salty, and I really want another Coke Zero. Got 5 minutes left. Wonder how mad she'd be if I texted her. Coke Zero? For cereal, I use almond milk. Yeah, Mrs. Mustafa is supposed to be drinking almond milk instead of the regular stuff. I think phosphorus and maybe, what's the other thing she's supposed to be avoiding? I can't believe I'm blanking on it. We're on it all the time. She's supposed to cut down on phosphorus, and she's not supposed to have... Oh, Ed, are you that sleep deprived you don't remember your wife's nutritional guidelines? If I quit trying to remember, it'll come to me. But Mrs. Mustafa is supposed to avoid dairy. But she doesn't, I don't know, she doesn't buy soy milk or almond milk. I don't think she drinks a lot of it anyway. She'll pick it up once in a while, but I'm the milk drinker. And regular dairy milk is so cheap. I almost feel bad. You go into the store and you buy a gallon of whole milk or 2%, and depending on market conditions, it might be 89 cents or $1.14 or $1.40. Not to get into too much, cousin is a nutritionist, and she taught me that regular milk is detrimental to our calcium. Better off with other sources of fortified soy, rice, or almond milk. There you go. Regular cow's milk is good, too, just to get into it too much. Oh, just don't use it as much. Okay. The dairy industry rules, hence it's so cheap. Actually, I think if the dairy industry ruled, it would not be so cheap. They would rather have higher prices. There's no equivalent to OPEC in the dairy industry. And if the dairy industry had anything to say about it, we'd all be eating a lot more veal. Veal calves are generally male calves that are born on dairy farms, and they literally would drink away the profits if they raised them to adulthood, so they try to sell them off early. Veal's got kind of a bad reputation. The idea of caged veal that's not allowed to roam, those days are long gone. Veal's treated a lot more humanely than it ever was. If you eat meat, you can eat veal without feeling particularly bad about it. Veal calves are actually allowed to grow a lot older than lambs are. People don't think twice about eating lamb generally, unless they don't like eating lamb. The reason it's so cheap is it's filled with chemicals, and one particular to make the milk look white. Otherwise, in its natural form, nobody would buy it. Complex does not like milk. Well, that's it. A single silver haddock. Doggone it. Whatever this was won't even count. Oh, it was a game fish, though. Nice. A dace. It's actually hard to catch dace once your fishing skill levels up. You generally aren't anywhere where dace are catchable. Rice or oat milk, absolutely love it. Not after my cousin told me about how it is. Alright, just in order to keep everybody awake, we'll take a short recess from fishing. Let's pop out to the housing area. It's time for task item turn-ins. Yay! Fortified rice milk is delicious. Almond milk's delicious. I haven't had oat milk, but I'm sure that's delicious as well. And it kind of begs the question, as good as oats are supposed to be for you, why don't we just make everything out of oat flour? Maybe that's not possible. I don't do a lot of baking anymore. I used to bake a lot, but I shouldn't be eating a lot of sweets, and Mrs. Mustafa doesn't like sweets, so we don't bake bread at home, we don't bake cookies, we don't bake desserts. A few weeks ago, I picked up a whole bunch of task items from Limelight Valley. I have turned them all in. What I think we'll turn in some more Dole Amherst stuff. We'll do damaged fur and shattered hatchets. This will actually free up 2 more pack slots. Do your task item turn-ins every day, boys and girls. You get experience points, item experience points, worsted experience points, reputation points. You earn titles, you earn cosmetics, and most importantly, you get junk out of your bags. It's a good thing. Look at me go. Completed. Task at hand. But yeah, if oats are so healthy, why are we just not eating bread made from oat flour and more oat-based breakfast cereals? And you'd think it would be relatively easy to substitute oat flour for a lot of recipes. Oat-based pasta. I don't know. Maybe you could do that. Maybe it's a
What can I
thing.
do for you?
Wow, good for her. I have a brutal sweet tooth. I have a brutal sweet tooth.
There.
We ride for Kellendom. And for glory. Asian palates tend to run much less sweet than North American or European palates. In fact, other than the British, I don't think most European countries eat nearly as sweet of desserts as we do.
You may be of service to me.
Okay, now we're trying to catch Caleb Hall. I know some wheat is harder to digest and they sell a lot of it in breads. They can do so much better food-wise, but they want us on an enriched white flour sugar diet. Well, and one of the other things that I occasionally bring up when talking to folks is, you know, people are concerned about the way animals get treated, and the problem is, you know, here in North America, it's chickens, pigs, and cows, and some turkey. And the reason that those are the four most popular proteins is because they're the four easiest proteins to raise on an industrial scale. And if Americans would widen their protein selections, eat some rabbit, eat some more buffalo, eat some goat's delicious, you know, and branch out a little bit. You know, I mean, all of those alternate protein sources they can't be industrially raised. They have to be raised under humane conditions. And you'd be supporting small farmers, you'd be eating healthier, and, you know, taking some of the pressure off of those industrial farming proteins. But folks don't like to try new things. I like elk meat. Lamb is good too. Elk is considered one of the highest quality red meats on earth. If you can get your hands on elk, good on you. That's the stuff right there. don't think I've caught anything but junk here so far. It's all goldfish and weeds. I haven't even pulled up a lulam yet, much less a keleball. There's a lulam. Okay. That'll start us off. Ostrich is super yummy. I've had ostrich tenderloin before. It's almost completely fat-free, and it is like eating really high-quality top sirloin. It's a little bit like bison in that you can't really cook it over medium rare. There's not enough fat to let it... If you cook it past medium, it's just going to toughen up like nothing. But ostrich meat looks like you're eating beef. It's really terrific. The only problem I can see with bison is that the guys who are raising the bison are these multi-billionaires with giant ranches, and they think that everybody who should buy their buffalo has as much money as they do. It's like, buffalo, $10 a pound for ground buffalo. It's like, ground buffalo's delicious, but I'm not paying $10 a pound for ground buffalo. Sorry. Well, even some of the other birds that are available, like quail and duck, holy cow, are those good. Although one of the things I've never eaten, and I'm sure many of you have, is I have never had goose before. Buffalo burgers, gasm, exactly. Although I've talked about this place before, there's a burger joint here in town called Best Bison. And Old Man Ricketts, he was one of the guys I was thinking of. Ted Turner went through this phase too, back before he completely lost his mind. But the Ricketts family owns the Chicago Cubs. They have a son who's kind of dumb named Pete Ricketts, and they didn't want him screwing around in the family businesses, so they bought him the governor's mansion down in Lincoln. I actually have to say, ever since the COVID-19 crisis, I think he's done a nice job as governor, although I think my wife told me he's not running for re-election. So I don't know what he's going to do. Yeah, the Ricketts family's got billions of dollars. They were behind the Ameritrade brokerage, which they sold to TD Waterhouse. And then TD Ameritrade just got bought by Charles Schwab. They're in the middle of merging. But they made a few $1 billion in brokerages. Well, the old man, Ricketts, has a buffalo ranch out in western Nebraska somewhere. Might have bought Ted Turner's ranch for all I know. Ted used to have a chain of Ted's Montana Grill restaurants, and they served Ted's buffalo, and he lost a bunch of money on that venture. And then now Old Man Ricketts is supposed to be building a deluxe fine dining establishment to showcase his premium buffalo meat in a manner to which it deserves. But before that, he started this Best Bison operation, and they were hoping it'd be a huge success and they could franchise it, and everybody just go crazy for buffalo burgers. And the restaurant is very disappointing. One, it's very near my house. It's about 6 or 8 blocks away. 2, they have Coke Zero on Fountain. 3, I am not a French fry guy, normally speaking. They might have the best French fries in Omaha there. They call them pommes frites, and I think they actually cook them the European way, where they're flash fried and then they're cooked again. And the idea is to get a very crispy outside, while heating up and leaving the inside pillowy soft. The fries are terrific. The problem is the burgers are not. Everything on the menu is very expensive. One of the things they like to feature if you walk in the door, they're like, would you like to try one of our buffalo beer brats? And you're like, yeah, sure. And they hand you a toothpick with a little piece of this buffalo bratwurst on it, and you bite into it. Kelebhall, I got a rare fish. Excellent. And it's delicious. And then you walk up to the menu board and you see that the beer brat, one bratwurst, is $8.50, and that's just the bratwurst. That's not with fries, that's not with the drink, that's not a combo. It's almost $9 for a single bratwurst. And then reality kind of hits you. Now they do have a double bison burger that's like $10.99. So for a premium burger, not what you want to spend, but okay. It's probably worth it. You're going to spend that for a decent burger at a lot of restaurants. So I go in there, and I've been there a few times. I've ordered this bison burger, and I'm like, could you cook it medium? Oh, no, we can't do that. What do you mean you can't do that? Well, we've got a special patented cooking process, and it can only be cooked well done. You're not supposed to cook buffalo well done. The whole point of buffalo is that it's very lean. There's not much fat in it. That's what makes it healthy. So these guys decided it would be a good idea to just cook everything well done. It's like, are you stupid? So the meat's a bit under-seasoned. It ends up dry because they overcook it. So you spend $11 for a not particularly good burger, and everything else they do right. They've got Coke Zero on fountain. They've got great fries. The other thing that's weird about this Best Bison restaurant on 78th and Dodge in Omaha, Nebraska, is the place has this weird look to it. It's hard floors, it's white tile, a lot of stainless steel fixtures like the tables and countertops and stuff. And the first time I went in there, I got to laughing because I looked at the place, and it's like, if somebody walked in here and machine gunned all of us customers, all they'd have to do would be take a fire hose to the place, wash it off, and they'd be able to reset and serve again in 30 minutes. Nobody'd ever know we died there. That's kind of what the interior of the restaurant looks like. Very clean, very industrial, stainless steel and glass and tile, but not much personality. It's not a very warm, friendly feeling restaurant. And it's just such a shame because it's like, I love buffalo meat, and if your whole concept of a restaurant is well done buffalo meat, you never should have opened. You have failed when you sat down and just started drawing up your business plan. I mean, that place never had a chance to do big numbers. And in fact, it's probably turning people off of buffalo. And then the other weird choice was that particular location where they opened it. Within less than a mile of that particular location, you've got a Five Guys, a Fuddruckers, Burger King, McDonald's, Applebee's. You've got a place called King's All-American. You've got a bar and grill called Jams that's got terrific food. There was a Smash Burger. I think the Smash Burger is gone now. And all of these places all have better burgers than this Best Bison place because they overcook their buffalo meat. It's really a shame. But yeah, I remember hearing some corporate cronies. It was kind of funny. The first time I went in there to eat, there was this whole table full of guys from Ameritrade. They looked like, junior corporate wannabes, and they were all in there checking out the owner's new restaurant. Oh, yeah, this is going to be great. Oh, yeah, they're going to franchise. It's like, this restaurant's not even breaking even. It's like, and you got such a beautiful product. It's like, why would you ruin buffalo meat by cooking it well done? And then to say, oh, no, we couldn't possibly cook it medium. It's like, ugh, you guys are stupid. They don't even have the basics down. So, yeah, I wish that restaurant was better, and it's just not. I haven't been back to eat there. I bet it's been over a year. Like I said, we drive past it all the time. I also like to eat meat if it's eaten out in the field or wild rather than fed whatever grain you give them. Yep, I agree. I like wild game. Duckington Finch says, what restaurant is this? It's called Best Bison. It's a buffalo fast food restaurant in Omaha, Nebraska, owned by the Ricketts family, the people who own the Chicago Cubs, and they sold Ameritrade to TD Waterhouse? I don't remember who TD partnered with before they bought Ameritrade, and now TD Ameritrade is getting bought by Schwab. But they made a few $1 billion in the brokerage business. They own sports teams. They own a lot of stuff. They bought the governor's mansion in Nebraska for their son. And they don't know how to cook buffalo meat. It's a damn shame. So the old man's going to apparently open a really snazzy restaurant that's going to be 3 blocks away from us the other direction, and we probably won't eat there much either. I'll go ahead and try it. If I can actually order medium rare buffalo meat, then hooray. But, that Fuddruckers that's 8 blocks away from his restaurant, you can walk in and get a medium buffalo burger. They have them, and they're better. So, that's a shame. Best Bison, not best of cooking it like that. You are correct. Any chance you are Turkish? Debno33, I am not. I live in the States, born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska. Big Ed Mustafa was a character from a Dirty Harry movie. And I actually have learned a lot about Mustafa Ataturk, the first president of modern Turkey, who wanted to develop Turkey into a secular state in the form of a Western-style democracy. I know the name Mustafa is revered in Turkey, and I think Turkey's a beautiful country. I would love to visit there sometime. I think Istanbul would be just amazing to visit. So, not from Turkey. High regard for Turkey and its fine people. Just an amazing country with a rich history and culture. Wow, amazing you know so much stuff about Turkey. I am Turkish and I'm living in Texas. One of the things I did learn recently, I referred to Turkey as being in the Middle East, and somebody else from Turkey corrected me, and they're like, nope, Turkey's not in the Middle East and it's not in Europe, it is Turkey. Turkey is a place unto itself, and I appreciated him correcting me for that. So. And in fact, I think Turkey actually grows a lot of the oregano that the Europe and North Americans use to spice our food. Everybody here associates oregano with Italian cooking, but most of the oregano either comes from Turkey or Mexico. Yes, it's multi-continental. Some parts are in Asia, some parts are in Europe. Mostly in Asia, though. Yeah, I think most Americans are very proud of America and think we've got a great country, and I believe that myself, but I think a lot of Americans might underappreciate many different parts of the world. I think Japan would be an amazing place to visit. My wife was born in Korea and used to travel back to Korea regularly with her mom. Hasn't been for a long time. I'd love to see Vietnam. And India is another country that I hear people, if anybody ever says to me, oh, I don't like Indian food, it's like, okay, first of all, India is a subcontinent. They have dozens of regional cuisines. Secondly, there's 1.3 billion people in India. I guarantee you a few of them know how to cook. It's just, that's another part of the world that I don't think most Americans really appreciate, the diversity and the vitality and the history and the culture. And some of the regional interplay, India's relationship with Bangladesh, with Sri Lanka, with Pakistan. I just think that whole area is fascinating to me, and it's a shame that so many Americans are just ignorant to it. But we all have our own lives to live, and people tend to focus on what's in front of them. When I studied political science at university, I was very interested in international relations, so that might be just a hot topic for me that most people aren't as excited about. I don't know. Well, I am almost out of time here, but I did get one Caleb haul. I would love to catch a second before I run out of time here. I might have time for 2 casts, probably only 1. Depends on how fast this next hit comes. Come on, baby, bite the bait. That was pretty quick. I think I might get another full cast off. Come on, Caleb haul. Give me a Caleb haul. Caleb haul. Nope, I got a goldfish. Oh, I got plenty of time for this cast. This should be good. One more Caleb haul. Come on, baby. Give me a Caleb haul. Larnerfang checking in. Hello, Larnerfang. Welcome. Oh, I just barely missed getting that fish in. That is a shame. And I missed my jump, too. Doubly disappointing. Now I have to swim back to shore. Ooh, for swimming back to shore. Mrs. Mustafa has wandered in here without a refreshing Coke Zero for me. I will have to go out and fetch my own. The good news is I'm about to ride to Douland, and that will give me a chance to grab a Coke Zero while I'm on a horse. For those of you who didn't know, I am completely free to play and do not have swift travel to most places. So I will ride to Douland and be right back with the Coke Zero. Cheers, stream hype! And it looks like the stable master's horse beat me back. But I was thinking about grabbing another snack, and then I decided against it. So we'll buy our elf fireworks so I don't forget.
Greetings to you.
Sweet lad Milan, will you stay a moment?
And Lalfer lost some things, and we're going to go find them for him. Fortunately, I've got a pretty good idea where to go look. Willie Gnome checking in. Coke Zero sounds good. This is how Coke Zero sounds. Crisp and delicious. My mom is cheap, so I have to give they have the generic Coke Zero. Not as good. Mrs. Mustafa wants to go to the store. She's like, so-and-so doesn't have your Coke Zero on sale. Nobody does. I'm like, I don't care. I'll pay any price. One of the nice things about being an adult. All you want is peanut butter Captain Crunch. By God, you can buy peanut butter Captain Crunch. Which is delicious, by the way. So I can't remember the last time I had a bowl. I think we do have honeycomb out there. But for reasons I won't go into, I generally just eat Fiber One. Which is basically like eating cardboard for breakfast. And being as that's usually what I have to look forward to for breakfast, might explain why I'm not a big breakfast guy. Mrs. Mustafa likes to make breakfast on the weekends, though, and she's all about bacon and eggs and toast. And that's why it's important to eat Fiber One, so my cholesterol stays low enough that I can have bacon on the weekends. Found your stuff. Quit
Greetings to
losing
you.
it. There you go. Alright, we are off to Bree. And I feel like at this point I could go ahead and burn my Bree port. Let's get there the old-fashioned way by pressing a button. Otherwise I have to ride back to Kellendam and then swift travel to Bree, and you guys don't want to watch me ride back to Kellendam again. Tuxorama says, I can't get enough peanut butter ice cream. Oh man. Oof. Willie Gnome says, I'm 32, but I'm a dependent because of several handicaps. That's cool, Willie Gnome. I'm just sorry that you don't get to drink Coca-Cola brand Coke Zero. You have to drink generic stuff. Although I have drank on stream one time. I had a Pepsi Zero Sugar, and I did declare it drinkable. Tux Ramus, how the heck are you, my friend? I also love peanut butter ice cream. And Dairy Queen and Sonic both have peanut butter shakes and malts available. And Sonic does a half-price drinks thing after 8 p.m. And you can get a large peanut butter shake there for like $2.50. It's kind of dangerous, actually. Plus, it's aggravating because Mrs. Mustafa always says, I don't want anything, I'll just have some of yours. And then continuously just takes my shake out of my hand so she can take a sip. If it looks like I'm enjoying it, she takes it away from me. Oh, here, you should probably let me have some. It's like, quit touching my ice cream, woman. Doing great, good to be here. Hey, glad to see ya. Before I get too wrapped up in all of my festivaling. Tuxramus is awesome for a couple of different reasons. Tuxramus streams Lotro, which makes him awesome. Tuxramus does it, all of his gaming and streaming is done on Linux. He does not run Windows at all, which is awesome. So to be able to play a variety of games and stream them all without using any Microsoft product is very cool.
How can I be of service?
If you're not following Tux Ramus, show him some love. And as always, I am very grateful to have so many fine streamers coming by tonight.
Friend. Could you
We
help
have
us?
shouted out Lord Smooches. We've shouted out Val. We've shouted out the artist formerly known as Young Sean.
Greetings, friend.
Calanguin? I'm sorry. I gotta go back and look. And now Tux Ramus is here too. Plus SKDX Killer was hanging out with us. Calingwaith. I'll get used to Sean's new name eventually. Oh, holy cow. Rated by Mage Centron. Hello, Raiders. Goofy old lady coming in. Bloodstock is here. I was just talking about all my streamer friends who have been popping by. Let's show some love to Mage Centron and to the Raiders. Hi, everybody. Original Godspeed is here. Hello. It's going pretty good. Just doing some festival stuff. Having a nice, chill, relaxing evening. Wolf Alzheimer's here. Got to show some love for my buddy Big Mikey Ocho. Big Mikey Ocho actually faked a wrist injury so he didn't have to play Rocket League with me. I'm that bad at the game. It's not actually what happened, but that's the story I tell just for fun. So I could stay and do this little dance party thing and get a dance emote, but I don't really care. If you don't have them on any of your characters, you should get them. It is fun to do the dance challenges and unlock the extra emotes, but Lenorian's not a main character for me. So I destroyed the smelt, which makes me sad. Smelt are actually yummy.
Could I speak with you a moment?
We ride around this track for glory and for festival tokens. Here we go. I've been having problems with this. The racetracks have been hiccuping. A little glitchy. Maybe I can get a nice clean run. That would be a nice change of pace. Closing my bags might help. I don't know. Nope, didn't help a damn bit. Come on, Ed. It's not like this is your first rodeo. I blame my mouse. My Logitech G305 got a bad switch on it, and I bought a Razer Basilisk X wireless mouse. It's a pretty good mouse, but I don't think I like it quite as well as I liked my G305. There we go. I at least got through one of those cleanly. I think I'll finish. Run! Run! Barely. Barely made it before the timer ran out. That was pretty close.
How can I be of service?
Boom, 4 tokens. I'm surprised so many of you guys have stuck around watching my streams all these years. I'm still telling the same jokes from 5 years ago. I need some new material. That's why I miss Zinger so much. At least when he made fun of me, it was something different. And I should be a pretty easy target. Thank you, Lord Smooches. Some stuff never gets old. So I was talking about it earlier tonight. The reason I love Farmers Fair Festival, you can actually fish for Antflus Starlit crystals indirectly. I like me some fishing. I like me some Antflus Starlit crystals, especially when I'm trying to get my Minstrel's Legendaries topped up. And it's just a nice relaxing way to get a whole bunch of festival tokens and earn some crystals. We'll see where we're at here when I get done with the Bree fishing hole. Which I can actually do now comfortably because I've got a fresh Coke Zero. I was eating some penguin cheese crackers from Aldi earlier, and they were quite dry and more than a little bit salty. I did not mean to stop here. For some reason my brain decided I was writing for the Relic and Forge Master instead of the fishing hole. That's okay. Plenty of horses where that came from. So one of the other topics we talked about earlier was what's
Can I
the
speak with you a moment?
absolutely best favoriteest gaming snack you can eat while you're at your computer gaming. And I posted that mine is probably pizza rolls, and that kind of just broke the whole conversation. 'Cause I think a few people were like, yep, Ed's right, pizza rolls. No, we were supposed to talk about food. I also mentioned peanut butter stuffed pretzels, microwave burritos. A lot of good stuff you can eat while you're at your computer. Alright, here we're trying to catch the ever-elusive golden redfish. We may end up catching plenty of drum, hopefully. But the golden redfish are the rares. Like I said, the rare fish, 4 of the common fish are worth 3 tokens, but a single rare is worth 6. Which means catching 2 of these rare fish are like getting 3 extra festival events done. If you get on a hot streak and you can catch 4 or 5 rares in a single fishing session at one of the ponds, which I have done in the past, although so far this year not so much, the festival tokens really add up quickly. You can pull 30 extra tokens out of a fishing hole just with rare fish. It's like, score! So far I've gotten goldfish and weeds though, so I'm not as excited about that. Cheese crackers and pickles. Cheese crackers, definitely. Yeah, I like pickles. As long as they're not deep fried. Deep fried pickles in small amounts are kind of yummy, but there's something about the deep frying that just concentrates the saltiness of the pickle to where they're just really extreme. Goldfish. Weeds, goldfish, weeds, goldfish. I have not caught a single drum yet, much less a golden redfish. Come on, let's get some goods in the creel. Cheez-Its, I think, are a good standby snack for me if I'm not particularly hungry. They don't leave a mess. They don't leave orange residue behind. They do taste cheesy, and they go good with Coke Zero. Always love my Cheez-Its. Willie Gnome says, I like Snyder's pretzels. Those are good. And then, what's that? Dots pretzels? If you guys have ever had those, they're expensive, but they're supposed to be really good. I don't know that I've actually had them. You see them in the store, but it's like $6 for a bag of pretzels, and you're like, wow, that's a lot. But they're supposed to be off the hook. Yeah, my mom is cheap with the Coke, but not the pretzels. Well, you don't really buy soda, you just rent it. It's kind of like beer in that way. But you know, it's kind of a funny thing. We had a club president at the RC. There's a golden redfish. All right, good. Now we're cooking with gas. See if I can get a couple more of those before I run out of time. One of our club presidents at the Radio Control Flying Field I'm a member at used to buy the Sam's Choice Pop, and nobody would drink it. And it was like, you know, the cost difference is this much. If you catch the brand name stuff on sale, it's as cheaper than the cheap pop. And, you know, it's just a matter of shopping at the right time. And so when he stepped down as president, we started buying good pop again, and I don't think anybody else has ever had the inclination to go buy the cheaper generic pop that's not cheap. Not a huge cost savings for your mom there. So you just need to scour the ads and let her know when the Coke products are on sale. And you can believe with all the shilling I do for them, I am not a paid endorser for Coke Zero. Been hoping for a deal for 6 years and no luck. I don't know how much Coke Zero I've sold for them over the years, but I just really like the product. Coke Zero is the best Diet Cola ever created on Earth. Never tasted anything as good. Now, there are other great diet drinks. Mrs. Mustafa and I both like Diet Mountain Dew quite well. I really like Diet Dr. Pepper. Diet root beers are mostly all delicious. Cream sodas, Diet cream sodas are good. Diet lemon lime sodas are all very good. But if it's a cola flavored soda you want, and you don't want sugar, you need to get Coke Zero. There are some flavors of Diet Coke. The Diet Coke with lime and ginger is pretty good, but it doesn't taste like cola. It tastes like lime and ginger. And like I said, Pepsi Zero Sugar, not Diet Pepsi. Diet Pepsi I wouldn't wash my feet with, but Pepsi Zero Sugar is actually drinkable. I used to like Diet Right and Diet RC, but after tasting Coke Zero, it's like, yeah, I could never go back to that. Asmon is partnered with Pepsi, no kidding. Sam Salat says, first time seeing Lotro, golden redfish again. It's Farmer's Fair Festival, so I'm doing some festival fishing. I just caught my second rare fish here at the Bree Fishing Pond, which is a very good thing. Larner Fang says, how about salt and pepper Triscuits with sharp cheddar cheese slices? Also a great snack, Larner Fang. You're onto something there. Mexican Coke is more delicious. You're not wrong. It's made with sugar instead of corn syrup. The problem I have is by the time it gets to Nebraska and actually gets sold, it's usually flat, which is a bit of a shame. I'll drink one once in a great while. Tuxramus says, I love root beer. Never had it before moving to the USA. Root beer is delicious. OSU Cowboys 85 checking in. OSU Cowboys, how the heck are you? Well, and when Mrs. Mustafa and I were honeymooning in Mexico, one of the things we discovered down there was Coke makes an absolutely terrific apple-flavored soda called Manzana Lift. And apparently apple-flavored sodas are pretty popular in Mexico. They don't sell them here. You can't normally find them. I suppose the Mexican markets and groceries, you might be able to find some that have been imported. But why they wouldn't market Manzana Lift to the U.S., I have no idea. I think people would buy it and drink it. Maybe it's just because they don't want to compete with their own Minute Maid brand of juices, or apple juice is so cheap here they don't think an apple-flavored soda would sell. I don't know what the thinking is. But what was funny about it was just the cheapest thing on earth down in Mexico. We'd been walking around and we were really hot and thirsty, and I'd left most of our cash back in the hotel room safe, and we just had a couple of bucks on us, and I was like, let's see. And it was like, 40 pesos for this and 35 pesos for that, and it was like, Manzana Lift, 10 pesos. And it's like, well, let's try a bottle of this. It was terrific. It's like the cheapest thing on the shelf, and it was quite tasty. And very cold, which was good. So yeah, it's funny how regional soft drinks are. mentioned it before, but apparently in Taiwan they sell Coke Zero with fiber. And some of the tech tubers who went over for Computex a couple years ago were talking about it and how much they liked it, and it added like an extra level of creaminess to Coke Zero. They thought the fiber really enhanced the texture and flavor. The A&W from the fast food place is really strong. A&W root beer is good stuff. Doing good, OSU Cowboys. What is your favorite gaming snack when you're sitting at your computer? What do you like to eat? I had suggested pizza rolls as the ultimate gaming snack. A lot of honorable mentions, though. I also mentioned microwave burritos, peanut butter stuffed pretzel bites, of course, Cheez-Its. The root beer, I mean. Oh, I know what you meant, Willie, no. Sam Salat says, Manzana lift with tequila. There you go, you're familiar. Another golden redfish. I think that's third. Okay, this is the hot fishing round I was hoping for. I am glad it's coming to pass. So that's 18 festival tokens just off those 3 fish. And I might be able to catch a 4th. Heck, I might be able to catch a 5th if this keeps up. It's all random number generator. You can catch 2 in a row. You can go 20 minutes without catching a single one. But now all of a sudden the drum are hitting. The golden redfish are coming in. I'm having a banner fishing time here at the Bree Fishing Hole. This is what Farmers Fair is all about, boys and girls. Get loaded up on tokens. Get your handful of starlit crystals. In fact, what was funny about it, I think I was still drinking Coca-Cola Classic when we got married. And I remember we went to a little local eating place in Playa del Carmen. They have this Avenue Cinca shopping district with lots of shops and restaurants and things all up and down it. It runs about 6 or 8 blocks long. And we're sitting in this place, and I had like grilled pork chop and mushroom tacos, which were terrific. And I was drinking Coke, and my wife was scolding me. I don't know how I missed that fish. I must just have hit the wrong button. But they weren't free refills, so I ordered 4 Cokes at $2 a piece. It's like, you spent $8 on Coke. I'm like, I don't care. We're on vacation, honey. I wanted 4 Cokes. I drank 4 Cokes. So, Mrs. Mustafa is type 2 diabetic, and once I watched her start injecting herself with insulin, I switched to Coke Zero. And I remember hearing from people that, oh boy, if you switch to Diet Coke, you'll never be able to drink a regular Coke again. It'll be too sweet. It's like, oh, I could never not be able to drink a regular Coke. They weren't wrong, though. It's pretty sweet. I don't drink it very often, but maybe about once a year a reason comes up for me to drink one regular Coca-Cola Classic. Sam Salat says, I chose to watch Lotro because I've seen a 20-minute video of a guy walking through the entire map. It's a big world. In fact, I would suggest that the guy might have gotten from end to end, but certainly didn't walk through all of the different areas. There are region after region after region. And depending on when the video was made, there could have been a lot of extra regions added since then. Mordor itself is 5 regions, plus Minas Morgul, the Wastes. Gondor has 6 or 7 regions. You've got Western, Central, and Eastern Gondor, Far Anorian, Old Anorian, North Ithilien, and the Wastes are all part of Gondor. Eastern and Western Rohan each have many sub-regions in them. There's a lot of Middle-earth to cover. Big Mikey Ocho says, I think I've seen that one too. If I remember right, it's very sped up. Plus, the whole point of Lotro isn't to rush through it as fast as you can. You got to stop and smell the flowers and catch some fish. You haven't even explored Middle-earth if you haven't stopped to fish in each of the different regions. It was like 13 hours walking in real time. Okay, there you go. That sounds more like it. That sounds believable. It's a big map. It's a big world. There's a lot to see and explore. And you don't want to go too fast or you'll miss a lot of it. That's why so many of us who've played for a long time are still playing, and we have multiple characters on multiple servers, and just a beautiful game world with lots to see and do and lots of different ways to play the game. I've even heard some crazy rumor that some players don't even like fishing. Can't imagine such a thing, but that's the beauty of Lotro. If you don't want to fish, you don't have to fish. There are a few quests that require fishing mechanics, but nothing mandatory. I do 5 things and exactly 5 things on every stream, at least I strive to. The 5 tenets of quality Lotro streaming are: eat on camera, fish, craft, manage your inventory, and turn in your task items. And then if you've got some time or you're waiting around for your friends, shoot off some fireworks in-game. Never a bad thing to do. Can I catch a 4th golden redfish before the timer expires? We're right at 2 minutes right now. Come on, give me one more golden redfish. I was here fishing last week, and I literally pulled in a golden redfish on my very last cast before the timer ran out. So you never know. You just got to keep fishing right up until the very end. I've had some real bad luck with fishing in Lotro lately. That easy fish, bad fish. I got the bad fish on the very first cast 2 days in a row. That happened to me once earlier this week. I was like, dang. Well, I caught a goldfish, not a golden redfish. We'll try again. Come on, golden redfish. We've got less than a minute left. Come on, golden redfish. Come on, golden redfish. I need a golden redfish. Give me a golden redfish. Now I've got some extra fish and some extra tokens right now because I started doing some summer festival and then had to go play something else the other day. But I'd gotten through a partial cycle. I think I've done everything except fish, or I didn't do the Hobbiton horse race, but I did the Brie one. and I don't have enough time to get this last cast in. So my last 3 casts were all goldfish. I had a drum 4 casts ago. And if you don't have it pulled in by the time the timer runs out, you're done. That won't be anything from the... It'll be a normal fish from the pond. I caught a barbel. So let's toss back the barbel. Toss back our goldfish. Toss back our weeds. And let's see what we've got for tokens. Hopefully this will be exciting.
Hello there.
Alright. First up, small fish. I've got 6. That's enough for 4 tokens, or 3 tokens I should say. I don't have any starry flounders. I got skunked on that tonight. But I do have 3 golden redfish. That's 18 tokens. We'll move this over so we can watch the tokens pop up. I do have 2 silver haddock, which ain't bad. That's 12 more tokens. A kelebhal, that's 6 more tokens. 19 drum, 12 more tokens. 26 amberjack, that's good for 18 tokens. And last but not least, I'm sitting on 18 lulum, which is good for 12 more tokens. So that was a pretty good haul of fish. And that's enough for 2 tokens, or 2 crystals. And I've got about 62 leftover tokens for the next time. So that's what I meant by fishing for Anthelus starlet crystals. And why do you need Anthelus starlet crystals? Because when you get your legendary items and you imbue them, you're going to want to add them to max out your damage. See where we're at here. Okay, so I'm at level 63. This will take the sword up to level 66 tier. And I get major damage bumps with each crystal. And you can see the difference between where I'm at and where I'm going is from 880 DPS all the way up to 1500 DPS. So, particularly with weapons, but also for your class items, these Anthelus starlet crystals really max up your power. So I just went from 880 up to... Oh, I haven't leveled it. That's the problem. I'm like, duh. Well, I can go from 880 to 1100 now. So it's good for a 230 damage per second bump once I get the sword leveled up. And that's what it's all about. You got to make sure you get your imbued weapons up as high as you can so that when you go out to Mordor, you go out to some of the new, more difficult high-level content, you've got the whooping power to be successful. Massive pile of silver scraps. So what did I say? I'm at 60. Well, I'm at 65, and max is 71. So even after tonight, I still need 6 more crystals. But I only need 6 more crystals, so that's not quite as breathtakingly awful as it could be.
What do you need?
I need you to buy some junk. Massive pile of silver scraps, for instance. There we go. And I guess as long as I'm here... Let's pop out to Mikasa. And we'll put that dace in the storage chest and cook him later. Ruinic Wolf. What level do you start getting the legends? 50th level. Maybe slightly below that. Legendary weapons got added as part of the Mines of Moria expansion. And in order to unlock Moria, you have to get a legendary weapon and get it up to level 10 and get it reforged. And then you can go back to fight the Watcher and enter the Mines of Moria. Spoiler alert. Mines of Moria has been out for a decade or longer, so I don't really feel like I'm spoiling anything. Hopefully your mileage will not vary. Where's my dace? There's my dace. Another feature of your storage is that it is apparently refrigerated, and you can keep fresh fish indefinitely. I've got 35 dace. I've got... I think I was going to say at least 100 of everything else, but I cooked off a whole bunch of carp. All of the fish recipes for these species here, for whatever level of cooking recipe they are, they provide really good buffs for both vitality and will. So if you have a cook and you have a character that's a spellcaster, a minstrel, runekeeper, or lore master, you want to be making them fish recipes from the trail foods. All of this stuff cooks into stuff that's very handy for casters. Any of the light armor characters can make good use of that stuff. It's like having an extra jewelry slot when you eat the cooked fish. And I've shown these off before. I'll just buzz through them again really quick. I mentioned the fishing trophies are super cool. This one Lenorian does not have yet. I've got 2 of her 3 in the bag here. Darter Group Trophy and Trout Master. The Trout Group Trophy. But we'll zoom in here. The Sturgeon Group is... you have to have fishing skill 150 or higher to catch sturgeon. And you're only going to find sturgeon in zones that have Khazad Skarn or better crafting material. And if you collect all 9 species, you get a cool wall trophy and the title Sturgeon Master. There's also a Trout Group Trophy for Trout Master. Trout can be caught once you get fishing skill level 50. And when you catch all 9 species, you earn the title Trout Master. And then Darter Masters. Darters are level 100 plus fishing skill. And you can fish every day and bump up your fishing skill, but you're maxed out at 10 points of fishing per day. So it takes at least 20 days of playing in order to get to fishing level 200. But Darter Trophy and Trout Trophy are all really good looking. I like the Sturgeon Trophy. There's another title called the Complete Angler that you get for catching a 50-pound salmon. This is the largest fish in the game. And it's pretty cool. And I've had multiple characters catch their sturgeon and darter and trouts. So I've got 2 of each set hanging up. And Lenorians are still in her bag. This is a Xander trophy from out by Lake Town. And the other one that I thought was really cool is the pumpkin seed, which actually looks like a sunfish. Whoever did this did a really nice job creating the trophy. You can also get more common fish trophies. There's the other Trout Master trophy. There's a fishing taxidermist in Bree, and you can catch lots and lots of different trophy fish and turn them in for wall hangings for your house at the fishing taxidermist. And there are some other fishing titles you can earn out in Lake Town. I know one of them is Fishmonger. If you find all of the fishing trophies hung up in public places in Lake Town. And then there's a new fishing task or deed that they have out in Lake Town. and I don't remember the name of it. If anybody in chat knows it, shout it out. But Galadriel got it done when she was out there. But I don't think I followed up and done it on any other characters. And there's a hidden fishing hole out in Enidwaith, and if you discover it, you earn the title Kingfisher, or Fisher King, and I think it's Fisher Queen on the ladies. So, lots of good fishing stuff in Lotro. The sad news, I have run out of fishing holes to exploit for festival tokens for the day. But I'm halfway to my next Antflus Starlit Crystal, and tomorrow's another day. So that's okay. We're getting there. In fact, I have a sneaking suspicion I might be able to finish Lenorian's Sword before Festival runs out. I think if I'm diligent. I've been splitting Festival time between her and Mandalinia, my Runekeeper, on Evernight, but Mandalinia doesn't really need the crystals yet, so I've just been kind of banking them. The crystals you get, I believe, are bound to character, so whichever character you want to have the crystals needs to be putting in the work. But we're back here at the task board. Already done that. Samsalot says, did you stream every day? No, I stream Lotro usually about 3 times a week. Twice on my personal channel, Saturdays and Wednesdays. I've got a regular Wednesday group I run with on Evernight server, and we've been doing all the group content together. And then I've got a friend of mine who is quadriplegic and on a ventilator, and we stream together on Saturdays, and he loves Lotro, and we play Lotro almost every Saturday and stream it. He's able to put me on follow, and we just go around and hunt and quest and loot, and he's able to do most everything in game. He's got a face mouse program that lets him click on keys on a virtual keyboard, and then he sometimes uses voice commands. But it's a good time. He enjoys getting out there and mixing it up with me. And then sometimes I'll play and not stream. Mondays and Thursdays, I normally take the day off from streaming and just do whatever strikes my fancy. In fact, I think last Thursday I played Lotro and Fallout 76 and Apex Legends all in the same evening. Just hopping from game to game as the mood struck. Play Apex for a while until I got good and ticked off, and then switched to Fallout 76 until I got good and ticked off, and then I'd switch to Lotro. Love coming back to Lotro because Lotro almost never ticks me off. Give or take a Nala Doom run now and then. Yes, hard hit, I mentioned it, you're welcome. But if I get a chance to, I like to pop in and try to run some Summer Festival while it's available, because it's only available for a few weeks, and then it's gone until next year. And, you know, Lotro is just a very pretty, very relaxing game. There's tons and tons and tons of things to do. And I've got, I don't know, I think I counted up. I've got about 18 or 20 characters that are spread across all of the free-to-play English-speaking servers. The game has a terrific free-to-play model. Most of the players do subscribe because the benefits are worth it. It's not a pay-to-win model. It's truly free-to-play. I've got virtually the whole game unlocked except for a couple of new regions that I just haven't bothered to start on yet. And I've got the Lotro points to unlock them. You can earn Lotro points in-game and then go to the Lotro store to upgrade your account, to unlock new regions, to add expansion packs. There's almost nothing that you have to pay for in-game. So that's pretty cool. And, you know, I've got characters at level cap, and I've got housing, and I've got, you know, Mordor and Minas Morgul unlocked, and a lot of the newest content. Vale of Anduin and Lake Town and the Dwarf Lands. And I haven't been out to War of the Three Peaks. I had to wait to unlock it until it was available in the Lotro store for points. And by the time it had come out, I didn't hear anybody really complain about it a lot, but I didn't hear anybody that was super excited about War of the Three Peaks either. The feedback I heard from some of my friends was kind of meh. And so when it came time to go do War of the Three Peaks, I'm like, maybe I'll just switch up characters. And Zinger and I started running different characters here on Arkenstone. That's when I dusted off Lenorian. I hadn't played her for quite a few years. She was sitting in I think, level 90 or so. And we got her rolling again. Now she's 109 with a bullet. She's more than halfway to 110th level. So technically I ought to have her out in Mordor, and now that her sword is getting powered up, I'm hoping by the end of Summer Festival, maybe I can start going out to Udun and getting into Mordor proper. But content-wise, she's at Minas Tirith. I got through most of Osgiliath pretty cleanly. I've been working the dailies to get Anphilis Scrolls of Empowerment to also boost her imbued legendaries. That's just not a fun grind either. I mean, I could go out there and start doing that stuff right now, and I'd just be like, oh god, why am I doing this again? I hate this so much. And I'm told that if I go on to some of the other higher level regions, it's easier to get Anphilis Scrolls of Empowerment. But it's one of those things that I don't spend a lot of time keeping up on the latest game changes. That was so nice about having Zinger here. Zinger was like my in-game concierge who could lead me around and clue me in on some of the changes that I haven't been paying attention to. So at this point, it might be worth it for me to go run War of the Three Peaks, just so I don't have to spend so much dang time in the cisterns of Minas Tirith. But I am undecided on what to do with the rest of my evening. We've been running for just under 3 hours now. I thought I might get tuckered out, but I actually feel pretty good right now. The Coke Zero's keeping me pepped up, and I'm not so stuffed full of Cheez-Its that I'm uncomfortable. But the idea of going out and running Minas Tirith dailies just for the sake of getting more scrolls, it's like, I know I need to do it, but do I really want to do it? But for lack of a better idea, let's go to Minas Tirith. I forget you can barter for some of the rare fish, but not as fun as fishing for it yourself. Well, and if you're catching them 2 and 3 at a time, I mean, it's not that hard to get the rare fish. If I hit the festival here 3 or 4 more times to get Lenorian the crystals she needs, I'll get the rare fish too. I mean, I got 3 golden redfish tonight, so they're not super hard to catch. You just have to put in the time, and I don't think most people have the patience with fishing that I do. Well, at least you have time to play. I didn't even have a PC. Well, I am a former hardware engineer at a data center, and I build PCs for friends and family on the side as a bit of a hobby. And I always have at least 2 PCs in the house. In fact, I was talking Wednesday night. The heck did I put that thing? Oh, my next project, I think what I'm going to do, I just ordered a power supply from Newegg, A, because I like having an extra power supply laying around, just in case somebody needs one. B, it was on sale and it was very inexpensive. I got an EVGA bronze 450 watt power supply. It's on sale for $29. And what's probably going to happen is the next time I see a decent case on sale for a good price and free shipping, I'll order a case. And I'm looking at a B550 motherboard and that new Ryzen 5 5600G chip. It's a 6-core 12-thread APU with Vega 7 graphics. And I think what I'd like to do is build a IGP gaming PC without the heavy-duty graphics for now because video cards are so stupid. And I think Steam, Valve is coming out with something called the Steam Deck that most of you have probably heard about. And it's going to be a really cool handheld gaming computer built around, oddly enough, a Ryzen-based APU. They've got some kind of custom or semi-custom solution AMD's making for them that actually has RDNA 2 graphics, which are a lot more powerful than the APU that I'm suggesting building my PC with.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late.
What's cool is that I'm going to get the cisterns done first because they suck the hardest. If it gets late, I'm not going to want to do the cisterns later, so we'll do it now while I'm still relatively fresh. Although running the cisterns may take away my will to live, we'll see. But when they come out with the Steam Deck, they're also updating their Steam OS. It's a custom version of Linux. I forget what, I think the old one was built on Debian, and the new version is going to be built on Arch Linux. And they've got, it's going to be, they're calling it Steam OS version 3.0. It's always been a free distro. You can go out and download Steam OS 2.2 right now. But I think it'd be interesting to build a desktop around that operating system as a solution and just see how well I can do gaming and possibly streaming on an all Linux PC. Tux Ramus obviously does it and does it well, and it's certainly possible now, but I just want to fool around with it. I want to see what it can do, and I don't want to do it on my main system that I use for gaming and streaming, because if I mess something up, I need to still be able to game and stream. And then when I get done with it, I mean, I'll probably fart around with the system, and then Tux Ramus says, that's a good plan. Thank you, Tux. What the heck happened to my stream? All I see is black screen. Can you guys hear me? Refreshing. Maybe not. Oh, here it comes. Yep, spot on. Okay, good. But, you know, I might play around with it for a while and then end up loading Windows on it and giving it to a family member or selling it to somebody who needs a PC. If they need a gaming PC, I can always drop a video card in it once prices come back to some kind of normalcy. Although if you do need a video card right now, the 3 gigabyte version of the GTX 1060s, it's still a great 1080p gaming card, and you can get those for under $200 on eBay. In fact, I had a GTX 1060 first in my computer and then in Mrs. Mustafa's computer, and I ended up pulling it out and selling it along with my old RX 580 back before their values skyrocketed. I was like, oof, if only I had known. Stream messed up for anyone else? It's messed up for me, Willie. I can't see myself. Let me check OBS. Yep. Doggone it. Problem with ingest server at Twitch, it looks like. Yeah, you can hear me, but you can't see me. So it looks like it's still swinging back and forth, but at least it looks like the picture's starting to come back. So hopefully it'll get better. Sorry about that, guys. It's Twitch's server. There's nothing I can do about it on my end. If I still have Chatty up and the game's still running, it's not a problem on my end. The ISP's fine, my wireless connection's fine. But I'm dropping frames like a madman, and it's just the ingest server. Yeah, I messed up here as well, but seems like it just back. We'll see. It's probably still going to be a little jittery for a couple minutes, but hopefully it'll continue to smooth out. Thank you for your patience. And let's be honest, it's my stream. It's Big Ed Mustafa. Nothing that interesting is happening anyway, so that's okay. We're just running some dailies. We did some festival stuff. It's just a good time. We're just hanging out, chatting with y'all. Although now I'm wondering if my game audio's messed up. This guy hasn't asked me 14 times if it's my first time in Minas Tirith. There we go.
We won't let our city fall.
Are you going to let your city
Every
fall?
minute feels like hours. We can only prepare so much. Mordor will regret challenging the walls of Minas Tirith.
There we go. I just switched browsers. Better now. Okay. Yeah, original Godspeed says got video.
Every minute feels like hours. We can only prepare so much.
Oh, AMD GPUs are plug and play on Linux. The open source graphics drivers for AMD are great. The NVIDIA proprietary drivers are also good.
We can only prepare
Good
so
to know.
much.
So, yeah, I guess back to my point, I mentioned that that's kind of a project I'm looking at kind of slowly picking up pieces for. I expect most of the supply chain to improve as we head towards Christmas. Maybe not, but that's what I'm hoping. But I guess I should probably get a weapon and shield since I'm going to be fighting in here. Where'd I hide my stuff? Legendary sword. And shield. Okay. I'll put the fishing pole next to the fishing trophies. That seems apropos. No, don't portal out. But I think those Vega 7 graphics and that 5600G would probably be good enough for a lot of the games I've got in my library. I'll bet that would run World of Warships. I know it would run Lotro. I think it would be fun to try Rocket League like that. I should be able to make Rocket League playable at 1080p. Maybe if I focus on performance rather than quality visually. But, yeah, we'll see. But the rumor mill has it that RDNA2 APUs will probably be coming very shortly from AMD. I know they added some drivers to the Linux kernel, but it's probably for the Steam Deck. I don't know if they're going to make that APU more widely available or not. But by the time I actually get around to the motherboard and CPU, which are going to be the two most expensive components, they might already have something else new out. The hell's shooting me? Not him anymore. He's dead. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I can always change the specs as I go. I like to order the stuff piecemeal if I'm not in a hurry, and that way I always get the best price on everything. But I actually spec'd it out, and I could build the whole thing for about $595 right now. So it won't be a terribly expensive project. Then I can just sit around and wait for one of my buddies' computers to die, and they'll call me up, and I'll be like, boy, have I got a deal for you. Treebeard and Shadowfax legendary servers have arrived. Learn more here and choose your own path. You guys still playing on Treebeard and Love and Life over there? We were talking about how Lotro is a journey and not a speed run. That's a pretty good example. One of the most popular servers right now is the one where you get 40% of your normal XP so that you don't have to feel rushed to leave an area too soon, which is pretty hilarious. I don't know too many other games where the players would be like, can you slow down my experience, please? Thanks. Not usually what happens in an online game. I defeated an orc. I think I'm bleeding. Where is my stop bleeding? There we go. Zanaz Cherie says hello. Hello, Zanaz Cherie. Welcome. We're talking about gaming snacks while you're at your computer. We're talking about computer hardware. We're talking about all kinds of fun stuff tonight. And we're doing a lot of Summer Festival, and we're doing some Minas Tirith dailies. Grinding for scrolls. I sometimes stream content that might not be the most exciting, but I think if people are looking at Lotro or new to the game, I think it's still helpful to show off stuff like crafting and farming and even some of the grindier bits just so they know what to expect. I love showing off Lotro, but I don't really feel the need to sugarcoat it. I don't know of too many MMOs that don't have really grindy parts to them, so... I would like people to see it for what it is. If the only thing we show is the really cool, super fun raid content for large groups, that might make for a good stream, but I don't think it presents a full picture of what the game's all about. Decided to run instead of fight. Good on him. I was going to whip him. I was going to do very bad things to him. I love playing Lotro. It's relaxing. Exactly. Was Lotro always free to play? No, when the game first launched, Willy Gnome, it was a premium retail MMO. And what happened was the developers, who at the time was Turbine Games, had also created Dungeons and Dragons Online. And Dungeons and Dragons was not doing well commercially. And that was a retail game, and they decided to make it free to play. And what happened was there was this huge influx of new accounts, and the new accounts were still going VIP, and they were still spending money in the DDO store and the microtransaction stuff. And what ended up happening was a lot more players flooded into Dungeons and Dragons Online, and they started making more money off of the game, and it was so popular they decided to do the same thing with Lotro. So Lotro went free to play shortly after Dungeons and Dragons Online. If somebody else in chat knows the timeline, or I'm telling something that's not quite correct, feel free to jump in and correct me. I'd rather have us giving out good information than just me blathering. But I kind of know the story, but I'm not an expert. Anyway, after DDO went on free-to-play, they made Lotro free-to-play. And I had gotten a free beta account during open beta, because I was an Asheron's Call subscriber back in the day. And I liked Lotro, but not enough to subscribe to it at the time. So I'd kind of put it away and forgotten it. And then after it went free-to-play for a while, I came back to the game, and I'm glad I did. I really fell in love with it. What changed my mind was when I got a character up to about level 20, I had been through Arid Lewin and the Bree Lands and wasn't blown away. But once I got out into the Lone Lands and I got to Weathertop and I got to see the Circle of Blood and I got to see the swampy area, there's a lot more out there to see and explore. And you discover the last bridge over to the Trollshaws. I went the wrong way. I'm an idiot. I've already been through here. I was supposed to go the other direction. I realized how vast of a game world it was and how much there was to see and explore, and I just really got into the exploration side of Lotro. And I've been having a ball with it for the last, well, at least 10 years. But like I said, I played over 14 years ago. My characters have their 14-year portrait badges. And I always joke that I might be the only 14-year free-to-play player in the history of Lotro. But it's an easy game to play free-to-play. You're not terribly handicapped. There's some things that you can't do. Swift travel is much more rare, but there are swift travel points. You can get around easily enough. You just have to be a little more patient. And I think I spend a little bit more time than other players on what I like to call character maintenance, where you're just kind of doing some stuff that's not bold adventuring. It's a lot of dang orcs. I need to put that guy down hard. I was getting low on health. Zenaz Cherie says, I have an archer. Yeah, hunter's a fun class. It's also a good class for free-to-play because they've got so many travel skills. Hunters and wardens can move around a lot easier than most of the other classes. They get their mustering and guiding skills to a lot of the different locales. Like Martha Stewart would say, it's a good thing. She's my elf. A lot of my characters are female elves. In fact, when I first started the game back in beta, I picked Arkenstone as my server because I figured the server list would be alphabetical. It's not. And then I made most of my characters females because, of course, it was called Shadows of Angmar at launch, and the Witch King of Angmar can be killed by no man. So I thought, well, if I ever have to fight the Witch King, I don't want to be a dude. So all of my characters on Arkenstone are females. Mostly elves, but I have one human and one female hobbit. Did I miss a turn somewhere? I did. Like, why do I not have this all put to bed already? Because I forgot to go up this direction. I came through here looking for withered tree followers, but did not finish heading up to this section. Okay, well that wasn't so bad. Your papers, please. I have mostly elves and a few hobbits. Considering Amazon's Loader series next year, it might be a big year for Lotro too. Wonder if they're preparing for it. That is the plan. The publisher got bought by Apparently, the rumor has it a company with big pockets, and they're hoping to capitalize on renewed interest in Lord of the Rings when the series comes out. So hopefully